Hey guys, welcome to the House of Tease, a lifestyle channel following me and V, former New Yorkers, talking about our cultures, our styles, things we love, and our lives as two modern trans women navigating day to day, now living in Las Vegas and Houston, Texas. What are we doing today?
Yeah, so we wanted to start doing a little segment of
Hmm.
House of Teas, and I'll just kind of like mix it up a little bit and, potentially like make us think a little bit deeper just about life. So, the name of this new little segment that we want to do is five life questions with House of
Hmm.
Teas. So,
Hmm.
got these little deck of cards from one of my friends from LA. Shout out to Amanda. And it's just this random deck of cards where it asks you a question about life. So, we're just going to pick randomly out of this deck of cards and try our best on the spot to answer them.
What are they called?
So the name of this little deck of cards is called What's Your Word?
Mm,
Myintent.org. 33
okay.
meaningful question cards to find your word.
Only
Hmm.
33?
Yeah, I know. One for each day and an extra one. So
Okay.
I don't know why it's 33. So I have the deck of cards here, and I'm just gonna randomly pick five cards out,
Okay.
and then we're gonna answer them.
Okay.
Okay. So the
I'm ready.
first, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So this is the first one. Oh my God. I can't with this question. Okay.
Well, we have to answer it.
I know, but it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the question is, what would you do if you were not afraid?
Ooh.
So let it sink in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this could,
I
however you want to interpret that question.
okay. I automatically thought about like finding love. I feel like
Mhm.
a lot of times I withheld from like approaching someone or being so like flirty or being open to like meeting a guy out and about because I get in my head, I get insecure and I get scared. You know, when like
Mhm.
someone shows me that they're like have interest by like flirting with me across the room. I don't really nowadays I don't like react to it. I get nervous
Okay.
and then I get scared and
You
I
get
kind of like
scared?
shut it down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I feel
Really?
like
I never knew you that way.
I know
I
I've
just
been very confident,
yeah,
for a
ever since I met
while.
you,
I know, but it's
every
I
time we
guess
would, like, go out, you would, like, someone throw eyes, and you'd be like, "Ooh," like, throwing them looks back.
it's
So it's
so
funny that you're
true.
scared now.
Yeah, it's something that I'm like struggling with. I wish that I could tap back
Hmm,
into like my younger self and, grab some of that power back,
right.
and I think that's probably why I've been single for a while now. I'm just afraid of like going into something that I guess from my experiences haven't gone further than just like a few months and a few like interactions. And, I feel like that's the part I'm scared of that I'm just wasting my time and I'm because when I'm in it, I'm in it. I invest a lot of my time when I'm like dating, and yeah, I think that's why I'm like
Hmm,
scared. Yeah,
interesting.
I
Okay.
know it's
Wait,
so weird. It's so random. But that's happening
right.
to me at age 38, where like when I was in my 20s, it was like nothing. Well, yeah, if I wasn't afraid, I would be more. I wouldn't be single. I think.
Hmm,
I would just go for it.
interesting.
Yeah. I know because I know that I want to be pursued and I know like I want the guy to come up to me, but sometimes if they're there and find someone attractive, like I want to just get the cojones and go and ask for their number, you know?
Right. Okay, interesting.
What about you?
All right. Well, I had some time to think about it while you were answering. So for me, what would I do if I were not afraid? And this is
Hmm.
something that's hindered me my entire life, I feel, in the sense that if I wasn't afraid of things or doing things, I'd be
Mhm.
super successful right now. Like I would be living my dream, you know? And I say that in meaning that I mean my whole life, as you know, I've always wanted to be a singer,
Yeah.
you know? My literally ever since I was a child, I've been singing. And there was even a point where when I was in a band, I mean, I was
Mhm.
known in Virginia as a singer. Like, if
I
you ask
forgot you were in
anyone,
a band.
yeah, I was in a band. And then for like all of my elementary, middle school, high school, people knew
Mhm.
me as like, oh, the singer. I'm like, yeah, like I was always known as the singer, and I find it even to this day so odd that I am looked at as a makeup artist now because it's not really
Mm.
my passion of passions. My passion of passions is to sing. And I always joke around and tell people like, "Girl, if I wasn't afraid, if I was somebody who would just went out and did it, I'd be Beyonce right now."
Mhm.
For real, like, I if I was fearless like she is, I'd be successful.
You would be
At least
taking
be
that
on the duet.
Grammy. You would be taking
Yes,
that Grammy from Kim Petras.
right. I mean, I that's why I can't knock her because she was fearless. She's fearless,
True.
and you don't necessarily have to have the voice of Whitney Houston to win a
Mhm.
Grammy. You know what I mean? Like it's just being fearless and going
Mhm.
for it. And I think because when I was in a band, there was a lot of setbacks and times where where I felt like I failed
Mhm.
to the point where it gave me like debilitating stage fright.
Wow.
Yeah, like when you put me on stage to sing, even though that's what I can do the best, I
Mhm.
freeze because of that experience I had in my early 20s. I mean, there's a point where I remember we were like doing a show. We were opening up for this little Filipino band in Virginia Beach, and they asked us to be like their opening act. And there was this like little Filipino
Mm.
boy band back in the day, and they were pretty known within like the Filipino community. So all the little Filipino girls were like, you know, they were kind of like One Direction or whatever, but Filipino. And they were from Cali, and then they asked us to open
Wow,
for them.
that's great. So
Yeah,
what
I mean,
happened?
but it was at it was like at a Filipino community center, and we did it and we had no expectation. We didn't expect anything of it. We thought it was just another gig. We sang just like 3 songs, and it went really, really well to the point where the audience wanted to see more of us that night because I
Mhm.
remember me and Rena, shout out to Rena, we after the show, we went backstage, we were just packing up our stuff, and we were like, "Oh, whatever. Like, okay, time to go home. What are we gonna eat?" You know what I mean? It wasn't even any thought of like whatever, like what we just did. So the producers of the show came to the dressing room and said, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And we were like, "We're going home. Like, it's over." And they were like, "Well, all like the fans outside, they all want to meet you guys." So I was like, "What?" And then, like, the band had a meet and greet after the concert. So, like, what happened was,
Mm.
like, after the concert, they they ushered the audience into another, like, a big, like, convention room where they
Mhm.
would be sitting at, like, a table and signing autographs, taking pictures with the people and whatever. So the crowd wanted to see us and meet us. So we were like, okay. So they literally put a table next to the band where we sat.
So that
And
you could
literally
sign.
it was like 100 or so people in line to meet us. And I was like, what? This is so weird. And we were like signing it felt very surreal. We were signing autographs and doing all this stuff. And even the band themselves, I forgot what the band was. Rena, if you're watching this in the comments down below, like what is the name of that band? Anyway,
And then
so
are they still together?
yeah, I wonder what happened. So I remember they got up off the table, off of their table, waited
Yeah.
in line to meet us.
What?
Yes, because they loved us so much that they were like, "You guys are gonna be big. Like, we wanna be the first ones to meet you guys, and we want you to sign
Wow.
this and do this." And I remember just driving home, I literally, started crying. I was like, "Oh my god, this is how it feels," you know?
Right.
Oh my god, I'm getting emotional.
Aw.
Oh, not that.
Not that.
So, I remember just, like, being, like, overwhelmed by the whole situation, and, the concert people contacted us and wanted us to headline the show the next time around, so we were the headliners, and, we performed. Ew, I'm crying. It's
You're
getting
remembering
real.
something that was very
I know, because
big in your life.
this is, like, my passion, you know?
Yeah.
So, ugh, not me not having tissues, but,
We weren't prepared for this.
we weren't prepared, girl. Sorry, I'm crying. There
Wow.
goes my makeup. So, we headlined the show and people came, we sold it out, and everybody, like, bought the tickets, and we just had to sing, like, 5 or 6 songs, and, I was so scared that I forgot the lyrics to my own songs, girl.
Oh,
Literally,
no. That you wrote?
yes, like, literally 200 or so people, like, showed up, and then they were there to see us, and the Neptunes, if you guys don't know who the Neptunes are, the Neptunes was Pharrell Williams. So, Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, they're the Neptunes, and they're from my hometown. So,
Mhm.
they had somebody come and watch us, like, to scout us to see if we were, like, worthy of, like, being to work with, you know, like,
Yeah.
to work with them, and, because at the time it was, like, Aaliyah, Missy Elliott,
Right.
Timberland, they were, like, all from Hampton Roads, from where I'm from,
Mm.
and, they sent somebody to watch us, and I remember being so terrified that when the spotlight hit me and the music started, I fucking froze. And to this day, I'm affected by that because I felt like that was my moment, you know?
Right.
Like, what if I, like, killed it? You know, like, what would have happened in my life if I, like, went out there, like, fearless
Mhm.
and just killed it? And then, like, the people from, like, the Neptunes, you know, the Neptunes people were like, wow, they were like, they were able to see what we were really capable of, and I fucking fucked it up, you know?
Do you think that, because you weren't transitioning then, correct?
No, I wasn't, and we were having, you know, we
Mhm.
tried, making it after that. I mean, that moment was like such a nightmare for me. It took me like a decade for me to get over it because I was like, "What the fuck happened to me?"
Mhm.
So to that, ever since then, I've been terrified to like go out and sing because I don't want that to happen to me again. Yeah, I mean, and I always think to myself, what if I was just like fuck it, like let me just do it. Let me just
Yeah.
put all the fear aside and what I would be capable of doing. And then like it breaks my heart because people that knew me back then, they're always asking me like, why aren't you singing? You know, and it literally kills me when people say that. And y'all know,
So
people out there that are watching this from like Virginia Beach, y'all know what I'm talking about. And comment down below because y'all know people knew me as a singer first before
right.
anything. And some of you were at that concert to witness my demise. I literally like fell apart that night.
Ugh.
So, and then I remember like we tried to make it happen after that. We got a management company. We
Mhm.
moved to DC, and that's what made me move to DC was
Oh, that's
because
right, you left there. Mhm.
yeah, it was because the management company wanted to represent us. We had 2 record labels interested in us. We had, Rockefeller Records, who they had A&R people from New York come down to watch us perform at a showcase, and things were looking good until they met us, and I remember we did the showcase, and
Yeah.
then the showcase what a showcase is, if you guys don't know, it's where they take potential artists, like, so say there's, like, artists up and coming, and the record labels create these. I don't know if they do them anymore, but back then, back in the early or the 90s, they would have artists come and do like a concert
Okay.
with like different acts. And then A&R, which is the artist and repertoire,
Mhm.
like they're like scouts for record labels, come to that concert to see, okay, which artists are good, which ones do we feel have potential. And I remember we did it. And the A&R from Rockefeller requested
Mhm.
that he just wanted to see us.
Mm.
So they were like, we want to see that Asian group because we were the only Asians. Keep in mind, everyone was black. My managers were black. My the producers that we worked with were black. So we were like real kind of like accepted in like the black community for our music. The A&R pulled us aside and he literally told us, "You guys know you were the best act tonight, right?" And I was like, "Wow, like thank you." So he was like, "But there's a problem." And I'm like, "What's the problem?" Keep in mind, I wasn't transitioned yet.
Okay.
So I was an ultra, imagine I was like this ultra feminine, like boy who sang really high like a girl. And then
Like those Whitney
Rena,
Houston notes.
right. Because I was like a ballad kind of singer.
Right.
So, and then Rena played the guitar and she was like a beautiful girl, you know?
Mhm.
So they were trying so hard to figure out how to market us. So they tried to push Rena to the front. Rena didn't want it. They wanted to change her music. They wanted to break us up. They wanted to move me to
Mm.
Europe. They wanted Rena to be like Michelle Branch or like Jewel. Because back then, Michelle Branch and Jewel were
Right.
like the hot artists of like 1997. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they didn't know what to do with that. And keep in mind, this is before Asians, before Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls, before any like Janae Aiko, like her. Those
Mhm.
are all like Asian or half Asian performers, and this is before them. So there was literally no Asian performers, let alone Asian LGBT trans. It was like before all of that. So they ended up dropping us. So they didn't know what to do. They were like, "You guys are talented, but we don't know how to market you. And if a record label is going to invest millions of dollars into your career, we wouldn't know what to do, and we can't find a place for you in the music
Ugh,
industry."
that's
Yeah,
so ugly.
it is very ugly. So that was devastating. And then that's when, me and Rena were kind of like, didn't know what to do. And we ended up just like separating. We're like, you know what? Let's just go our separate ways. And that's where I found
Mhm.
makeup. Because I
Right.
used to do the makeup on her. And then the beauty community is who accepted me. So
That's
that's
true.
what I've been doing since. And then but it still breaks my heart because what if? The what if always comes in and it's like I think about it, I'm like, "Ugh," I'm like 42. Will I ever get that chance again? Because the industry is
Mhm.
like ageist. It's like you have to be 19, you have to be 20, you have to be young. Will it happen for me? I don't know. But
Have you tried putting music out there just on your own?
I did. I mean, from that time, from that failure to now, there have been many times where I would think to myself, like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do it." But then
Mhm.
the fear came in and stopped me because
From
I
even
did I
doing videos or
from
anything
doing
like of that
anything,
sort?
from even just like telling people that I sing. Like there are people that don't know that I even sing. I don't know. It's something that still weighs heavy on my mind, and
Mhm.
that's why it took me a moment when I saw this question. I was like, "Oh shit, here it goes," because
Well,
girl, fear is no joke.
yeah.
And I literally feel like, and that's why I'm doing this because this is kind of like therapeutic for me too,
Mhm.
to be able to
Absolutely.
just go. And now people are like, "Oh, you should go on YouTube. You have such like a personality to be on YouTube or an influencer or whatever." And I was like, "Well, fuck it. Like, don't be afraid anymore. Just do
You're
it."
like, "You're right."
Right. So, girl,
Well,
I
damn,
just
girl,
got
you took
real
you
emotional.
took that one. Like, I was like
That's why I was like, not that being the first question. Oh,
and I'm over here talking about finding a boyfriend.
but
No, girl, I get it. That's
girl, how does my makeup look? Am I like a hot mess?
I mean, your eyeshadow still looks great.
Work. Okay. Okay. She still looks cute.
She still looks good.
So that's some
Mm.
fun. That's the first time I've actually said that in like such a public way because I only tell
Right.
close friends.
I was gonna
I'm not sure if
ask
I,
you, like, I don't think you've ever told me you've told me the story, but I don't think you've told me this way, where
yeah,
like you went deep and thorough with like how you
yeah,
actually felt and
no.
why you're feeling the way you are now. Like, no, it was very brief. So I'm like, seeing a different side of you right now,
Because it was like
which is
I
great
was
to
like a
see,
different
you know?
person. I mean, I was completely different like back then.
Hmm.
So I've literally, I guess, to kind of forget about that person, I've transformed into who I am now. But now we live in a world where like trans is pretty acceptable. You know, we're in the mainstream, we're like in entertainment, we're in
Yeah,
music, we're in movies now. So, and then there's Asians everywhere. So I'm like, oh fuck, what if
I know.
if I just
You should have
kept
just kept
going?
going. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, but whatever. I can't dwell on that. And I try not to dwell on it because it's like it's so like a horrible memory
Mhm.
that I just have to move forward and just
Yeah.
see where everything takes us, you
Yeah.
know?
I feel like when you see this, when you see yourself, going through this emotion after, we're done, I feel like you're gonna like conquer that fear. I feel like it's
Right.
gonna move you forward to like letting go because you just poured all out.
I did. Not on YouTube.
And not on YouTube, on
Not
Instagram,
on
on
YouTube,
TikTok.
girl. And everyone came in here thinking we're gonna talk about contour.